Hey, it's Roy Richardson. This is the Tech Troublemaker, and all my troublemakers out there, I hope you are here. We're going to visit. We're going to talk about different tech news. I know, like, no planning. Just here we're going to do. Let's do this. We're going to talk about it and talk about cool stuff. And, hey, what we're going to do? We're going to do what we're doing right here. And we're going to talk about stuff that is going on in the tech world for us. Talk about this week's tech news. I know, this is unorthodox. What the heck, man? We're going to do it. This is crazy. I know it's crazy, but here I am. I am trying something crazy. I know. I should have prepared more, right? But I just thought, what the heck, let's see what happens. I know, this is a crazy experiment. What am I doing? I know, I don't have a clue, do I? I'm literally just winging it and a prayer and craziness. And yeah, there you go. So we're gonna go into the control room and see what's going on. And hey Marcus, how you doing? Welcome, sir. This is an experiment called Sunday Night Tech Social. What I'm basically going to do is we're going to talk about tech news. We're going to talk about YouTube. We're going to talk about any topic you want to talk about that has something to do with tech. And whether it be your iPhone, your Android phone, Microsoft, Windows, Office, Mac, whatever you happen to be running, if you want to talk about, let's talk about cameras. We can talk about microphones. We can talk about lights. Whatever you want to talk about, join in and let's talk about it. So here it is. This is crazy. I know I just threw this together at the last minute. You're probably saying, what were you thinking, Roy, when you did that? I lost my mind. That's what I did. Hey Steve, how's it going, man? Yeah, crazy's good. So I'm thinking about putting together a show every Sunday night called Sunday Tech Social. Every Sunday night at 8 p.m. where we will talk for an hour about different tech topics. We'll talk about whether it be, like I said, lighting, YouTube, Microsoft, Windows, Dell computers, Lenovo computers. Okay, let's don't talk about Lenovo computers. They make good laptops. I don't want to talk about anything other than laptops because that's what Lenovo makes well. They make really good laptops. I don't want to talk about any other product from them because I won't say good things. I'll just cause trouble and the world will be unhappy with me and it won't be good. So, but hey, I call myself a tech troublemaker, and so maybe that's what that's all about, being a tech troublemaker and saying things that I'm not supposed to say. And I guess that's where you're at sometimes. And so my thought was to kind of put this together and see what happens. And I know I didn't do any planning or any prep, but I thought, let's go ahead and start, because you got to start somewhere and then it will grow. Because things often grow as they do. And we'll just see what happens in an hour. People can come in, drop in, say hi, or leave, whatever happens. But this is my insane experiment, and I wanted to see what would happen. And, hey, Two of my friends are already here. I have decided to dub anybody crazy enough to watch my show Troublemakers. Okay? So I'm going to be a tech troublemaker, and you guys are going to be troublemakers who are going to go in and we're going to cause trouble together. We're not going to take over any small countries or anything like that. We're just going to let tech companies know, hey, by the way, your stuff doesn't work like it ought to. Or, hey, you know what'd be really good is if you made it better. Wouldn't it be better if you made it better? And then we'll talk about wins. We'll talk about stuff that people do well, you know? We'll talk about stuff involving tech. We'll talk about YouTube. I can talk about my YouTube journey that I've started on. So I literally started this off with a lowly Logitech C920, and that was my camera for a long time. And I had this Hydra lamp. I call it a Hydra lamp. It's got 5 different lights on it, and I put light bulbs in it, and then I started playing around with smart bulbs, and I started playing around with colors, and I was trying all these different things. How can I make my channel better? And how can I make my presence better on YouTube? And so I kept doing new things to try to experiment with it to see, hey, what can I do to make this work? And so my thought process is that we could get together as a group. We can talk through different problems we're having with computers. And here's a group. We form a brain trust, and we talk about the problems that we have with computers, the problems we have with different technology. And yeah, this is what Sunday Night Tech Social is about. And it's laid back. There's no agenda. We're just talking about tech and lots of cool stuff like that. So yeah, anyway. Hey, Steve, you think it's a great idea? That's awesome, Steve, because I don't have a lot of great ideas. And so when I do, I'm always excited when somebody tells me I do. Hey, what's up, Marcus? I said hi to you earlier, but hey, want to put definitely out there. Marcus just started going live about 2 weeks ago. You definitely need to give Marcus a shout out and go watch his channel. Marcus is just such an amazing, supportive person, and you will absolutely enjoy his channel. And Steve is amazing. He is basically an executive coach, and definitely want to go and watch his channel and the content that he's putting out there as well. He's more focused. Steve, you're more focused on Facebook, though, it seems, right? And so he's got definitely has a page out there. Steve might want to put a link out there so people can find you out there. I'm totally cool with that, because definitely won't, this is a good place for self-promotion to say, hey, by the way, you should go and see what Steve's doing, because he's doing some cool stuff as well. And I know in watching some of his videos, I've gotten a lot of inspiration from him. And then definitely things that we've done, like Lita, which I have done some live streams. I've done some recorded videos. And I've talked about Lita. Lita was live every day in April and live every day in August. And so what the amazing thing about that was, and going through live stream pros, Luria inspired me to definitely push harder, lean in on this channel, and just be me. Whoever me is. And I just thought, hey, this would be cool. And definitely thought, well, I'll invite some guests on, and we'll get started. We'll talk about different stuff here on the show. And so, hey, if you like this kind of stuff, wow, my little subscribe button went like miniature on me. We'll have to figure out what happened. Let's drag it out bigger. Here it goes. This is a great thing about live, because when things break, you get to see it in person, and the world's not perfect. So let's see what happens this time. There we go. That's bigger. Like and subscribe to this channel if you like it after you see this train wreck that I'm doing right now. Like I said, this is my first time doing this particular thing. I have a live stream that comes on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. where I talk about different tech stories. And hey, my wife's here. Hey, this is my wife, Donna. Thanks for coming by. And I do different tech stories, and we go deep into them, and we talk about it. But, maybe you have topics in tech news that you feel like don't get enough traction, or that you want more information about. And here in this social space, we can talk about different tech topics and make this happen. And you'll see me break things live, which that's always fun. I don't want to break anything, but, you know, I'm just like for example, one night I was doing a live stream and my mouse and keyboard suddenly decided they weren't going to play anymore. And so mid live stream, I go and grab another mouse and I turn off Bluetooth because they were Bluetooth devices. I turned off Bluetooth and turned it back on and got everything back running up again right in the middle of live stream. And I just kept going. And you know, that's kind of craziness that you have to go through sometimes. I'm looking at some next thing. So I'm getting ready to put a behind the scenes camera up. I'm going to take one of my C920s that I used previously when I was live streaming, and I'm going to throw it up in the corner and have that part so I can like change scenes, that type of thing. I just put my green screen up, which I haven't found a good purpose for it yet. And that's the problem with green screen, because lighting green screen is hard. Really hard. Really complicated. It shouldn't be that complicated, but it is. Because if there's any shadows or anything like that, it just doesn't do well. And yeah, that's life, right? That's life. So let's go. Yeah, that's life. Anyway, so this week in the tech news, let's talk about some of the biggest things in tech news. For example, privacy. So this week's episode of my live show on Tuesday, I'm going to talk about privacy settings that you need to set from both Facebook and other platforms, Google, Gmail, in order to kind of protect your privacy. I don't know if you know it or not, but anything you get for free, you are the product. That's just how it goes. How do you think companies pay for these free products that you get? They pay for them by learning about you and then selling that targeted data to different companies so that they can do ads that are tailored toward you. That crazy sensation you get when you're like, I was just talking about that and now Facebook is showing me an ad for it. How does that work? Well, people still claim that Facebook doesn't really listen to you, but they know enough about you from all the different sites you visit because they're tracking everywhere you go. They're tracking through tracking cookies and that type of thing. That's why, you know, Europe's GDPR, where they're like, you got to reveal when you're tracking people. You've got to give people an option to opt out. You've got to you got to be able to let them control their data. But we don't have that here in the United States. We don't. It's a free market economy, and capitalism says whatever works that makes people happy, we should do it. And so it's really a challenge because yikes. You know, and so we're going to talk this week on the episode on Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, if you happen to want to watch. And we're going to talk and go in depth about different ways that you can secure your phone and your other device, your computer, just a little bit more so that people aren't finding out as much about you and are able to track you as much. And plus, you notice over the last couple of years, especially in the last 6 months or so, people have been asking you, hey, this site uses cookies. GDPR is forcing those websites, even though you're not in Europe, it's forcing those websites to tell you, by the way, we're doing tracking cookies, and you have an option to opt out of those cookies. And you know, they have like the minimal amount where they may have to have, because it's just like session cookies and that type of thing. Those things you need. But they're saying, hey, where I'm, you know, doing performance information or using your information to do this kind of stuff. And so every time you go to a website you've never been before, they're supposed to ask you, hey, is it okay if we track you with tracking cookies, or click here to opt out? Or they make it a little bit harder to figure out, how do I get out of that? So we'll go on that in detail on Tuesday night. So I don't want to give everything away because it's going to be a good episode. But the point being is that's the kind of stuff that's happening in the world that we all should kind of look. Yeah. And then iOS 15 came out this week for iPad and for Apple devices, of course. If you hadn't, touch. Gosh, does anybody still have a touch? They suppose they're coming out with a new iPod Touch. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but suppose it's coming out. And then October's coming, and the rumor mill says that new MacBook Pros with M1X chip are going to come out in October, or going to be announced anyway in October, which totally makes sense and follows in line with how Apple usually does things. They'll do something in September it's all about starting a hype machine and keeping the hype machine going. So, yeah. Anyway, kind of excited about that. I'm not looking for any new computers. I'm good. I'm all stocked up right now. My wife's still watching. I promise you, that really is how I feel. I'm just excited for the world because the M1 chip is amazing. And there's been people that have been sitting on the fence waiting for a MacBook Pro to come out with the M1 chip that they felt was worthy for them to spend the money on. And it's supposedly going to be a 14-inch and a 16-inch MacBook Pro, which are new. Well, they have 16-inch, but the 14 is going to be a new. And it's going to replace the 13. So the 13 is going to go away, and it's going to be replaced by a 14. And the way they're doing that is literally narrowing the bezel around the screen to accomplish 14 inches diagonally of display. So really cool, really exciting. And, you know, it's still Apple going away from the Intel chips. I do hope that they do more with graphics. So I'm kind of excited to see what happens with that. Not that my M1 Mac Mini has issue with graphics. I know there are people out there who are sitting on the fence. They say, well, I got to have a Mac that just got a dedicated graphics card. Well, Apple's going to do some cool stuff that's still using the M1X chip that's going to really blow your mind. So I think it's going to be well worth it. Now, Siri. How many people use Siri? I've gotten where I use Siri some, only because, well, it's the default on an iPhone device. But I still miss my, I can't say the G word, assistant, or my Echo device. I like those. I use Alexa on my phone a lot to control, like, Amazon Music, which I'm a big fan of Amazon Music. Why? Because, well, it just made sense at a time when not everybody had an iPhone in my house. And so I was the last holdout. I was Android. I still love Android. Google Fi has some really awesome deals on the Google Fi, a Pixel phone, and a $15 a month phone plan. So if you're in the market for a new phone and you want to stay Android, the Pixel 5a is actually a really good phone, and for $15 a month they get pretty good service. They're either using T-Mobile or I'm trying to remember who the second run. There's two companies that they use in order to accomplish their coverage. If T-Mobile works well where you are, then odds are T-Mobile is what you're going to wind up with. Anyway, all right. Now we did a status check. Who all's out there? Let's get a shout out if you happen to be out there right now. Next up in tech news, what I want to talk about is, well, so far so good. Windows 11 is still working in parallels for me. There is rumors that when the official Windows 11 release comes out on October 5th, that Microsoft's going to enforce that use of the TPM chip. So if you're not familiar, the TPM chip is like that trusted platform. It's a chip that is supposedly to make it harder to basically decrypt Windows. It's also supposed to be another way to kind of make sure you're running authentic Windows and that you're licensed for it. And supposedly it's going to tie into security. I guess we'll all get to see what really happens with that. I don't know. So, hey, if you are a social creature, and why wouldn't you be? Well, hey, you can find me out there on Facebook and Twitter as Tech Trouble MKR. Again, Twitter wouldn't send me the rest of the files. You're missing out, Twitter. You're missing out on a revenue stream. You've been fighting for a long time to find a way to make money on Twitter. Selling me the extra 2 characters so I can be Tech Troublemaker on Twitter would be awesome. I'm telling you, I'd pay it. I want those extra letters. Give me a chance. What are you guys, like Unix from like a long time ago where I can only have 8 character usernames? We're way past that. Even in Windows, let's do 256 characters in a file name. That's the craziness of it, right? That's just how it goes. Hey, by the way, Sammy Superstar's not here tonight, but I am wearing Sammy Superstar's Streaming Superstar shirt. Sammy's out there been selling merch. I guess he was saving up to get a camera because sadly his camera died. We all had there was a service for it even. I think he had an actual memorial service for that camera. It was very sad. But now he's got a Sony ZV-E10 and rocking the channel. He's been changing out his backgrounds and borders and such, and so Sammy Superstar is another channel you should go out and watch. He has some really great interviews, and so really progressing along. He's doing really well. He's been out there for a while doing this. I know he's a big fan of Lita and the Lita challenges and stuff, but yeah, he's been doing some cool stuff for a long period of time. But you gotta go see it. Let's change out music here. Let's see. I kind of like that. Make sure my volume's down because I don't want to overwhelm. Yeah. I don't know, I was watching a video, it's like, hey, you know, get out there, you're doing your video, and you start asking people, can you hear me? And if they can't hear you, then they can't. Yeah. So, did you hear the joke about the 3 sheep? It's a really bad joke. I can't tell it to you. Alright, so, yeah. This experiment's having some trouble, but it's going to work out. I have faith. I have faith it's going to work out. Alright, next up, if you're watching this on the replay, please leave a comment as soon as I figure out why comments are not working. Hello there, you crazy thing, you. Wouldn't it be cool if my comments actually worked? It would be. So weird. Oh, there it's working. Me and the Stream Deck are having trouble. It's been messy. See, tech causes trouble. I mean, you've ever had your microwave go crazy on you? I'm just saying, tech has problems. For example, here's a smart light bulb, but it's not bright enough. It does pretty colors, but at only 5400 lumens, it's not very bright at all. Dang, cool, man. My favorite feature so far on iOS 15 is, well, it's kind of complicated. I like focus. I'm still having a love-hate relationship picking out what things I want to put in that focus, what I want to be, what apps I want to allow. And if you're not familiar with iOS focus, well, think of it as do not disturb for waking hours. Basically, they've taken focus and they put it into different categories. You have personal, you'll have work, and you have sleep, and then I forget what the fourth one is because I've only using work and personal and sleep. And so let me lock my screen, and there we go. Anyway, so with focus, you can say, for example, the following people, when I have maybe personal focus on, can text me, call me, whatever. But if they're not in that group, then when I'm in personal focus time, they can't call me, or they can't text me, or the following apps can't send me notifications. And so that is my favorite feature. I've always used the do not, the sleep mode on the iPhone. It's a little more defined now. I like that because, well, I would get lots of messages in the middle of the night that were not critical. And so because I couldn't get people to filter themselves, I filtered them for them. Those that know me, that know they really need to get in touch with me, they know how to get past those things and get in touch with me. But, it's just, and so, I have a list of favorites who I say, these people can disturb me anytime, 24/7, because I'm already disturbed enough, in case you didn't know that. And so, focus is my favorite feature so far. Also, I am kind of playing around with notifications. I like some of the enhancements that Apple's done to notifications. I'm still a work in progress on that. I'm still working on that. And then I read something about a new feature with Find My. So if you're not familiar, you should have this enabled on your iPhone, your iPad, whatever device you have. You should have the Find My enabled on your device. And why is that? So that in the event you lose your phone, you can call it and turn the volume up at high and maximum so you can find it, or so that others in your house can help you find your phone. Funny story, one day I was in a hurry to go somewhere and I misplaced my phone and I couldn't find it, and I had to be at this place. I couldn't wait, and so my wife had to go and keep ringing my phone to try to find it. And it turns out that I had mistakenly put it in the hand that was carrying a bag of trash when I went out to the trash can, and I threw my phone and the trash away at the same time. And so she found it. So this is why spouses are amazing because they support you in your insanity, oftentimes questioning your sanity at the same time, but at the same time supporting you all the way because you're doing something. It's like, what are you doing? I don't understand. But anyway, so I lost my phone and she found it. And then another crazy time I lost my phone. So this lady was in an ATM sitting on the floor, and I don't know what that was all about. And so I asked her if he was okay. Well, yeah, you actually can if you get the brain not working. Basically, Apple's got the things that are kind of like Tile that will let you put connections on all your keys and everything like that. You can buy a 4-pack for $99. And yeah, you can put tracking devices on all your devices and use Find My in order AirTag. Brain decided AirTags was not a thing I could remember tonight. So AirTag, but yeah. Let's see what happens. Picture in picture. Okay, here we go. So yeah, the AirTags. So Apple has AirTags, and you can use these to connect to different devices, and then different keys or other things that you have a habit of losing, and it will use the Find My feature to show you where it is, and it will make the device do a kind of chirping sound so that you're able to find it. And it's really cool. And they have like cool doodads and stuff they sell with it, little keychain looking things to make it nicer. So hey, misplaced something like your wallet doesn't have to be a big deal. So you can actually put an AirTag in your wallet if you wanted to, and it will go off and help you find those things. Now you have to have at least an iPhone 11 for this feature. Well, it will work on the others, but it's not as precise because it's doing a lot of Bluetooth. It's using like a really low level of Bluetooth and another low frequency feature in order to kind of accomplish this, but they call it secure Bluetooth. Anyway, so yeah, there is a feature out there already if you wanted Apple to help you find your devices. It's called AirTags. And so yeah, like I said, you can buy a 4-pack of them for $99. And sometimes I'll see a deal on Amazon for it, but you know, that might be a way to go. Let's see here. Whoa, cool. I didn't pick a bad scene. I didn't prep all that much, so yeah. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put that on there. So anyway, Big Red says, hey, don't you wish keys and stuff that Find My feature attached to your phone? Yeah, so that's what led me down the rabbit hole. Okay. Oh, Don says, hey, Big Red, stop wavy shiny squirrels in front of him when he's telling a story. Okay. Anyway, so the story was, so, no. This is supposed to be social. This is supposed to be a conversation where we talk about tech. But anyway, so I go into the ATM and there's this woman there and she's like, I need a ride home. And my oldest son was in the car. Of course, he was young at the time. He's like thinking I'm crazy. But I said, oh, sure. Where do you live? And so I took the woman home. I know my young son was probably thinking, Dad, are you insane? But she seemed harmless, and so I took her home. But at some point, I dropped my phone in the ATM. So then, when I realized, hey, I don't have a clue where my phone is, or when I lost it, and my wife gets a call from my phone. And this is the insane part. A friend of mine from work has gone to the same ATM machine and found my phone, and it said on the home screen, Donna, Roy loves Donna. And he's like, well, I only know one Roy, and he's married to a Donna. And so he calls me from his phone, and he calls my wife's phone, and they say, hey, I found Roy's phone. That was a crazy story. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, that was my story about losing phones. And lately, I have this thing where I put my phone in the console in the car. By the way, if you want to steal my phone, it's in the console of the car. And I just when I go in the house, I just forget to grab it. So then I'm like, I'll get in the house, I'm like, where's my phone? Oh, it's probably in the console of the car. So I go out of the car, and sure enough, it's there. So yeah. One time, though, my phone fell down under the seat in a place where I couldn't reach it. Just crazy. And so I had to take off my watch and just pretend my hand would just go anywhere, and finally got my phone out of this crazy crevice where my hand shouldn't have been able to get in there or even come back out, but managed to pull my phone out. So lots of adventures with losing my phone. Also lost the phone and got a call from somebody in a parking lot and said they found my phone. You know, there's a story here. It's not a good one, but it is a story. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Big Red, those are my favorite features so far. But anyway, so I was reading an article today, and Apple has done some enhancements to Find My. And you basically have to go in there. I'm just going to take a look and see if I can find these enhancements. I don't see it right now. It doesn't jump out at me and say, hey, here I am. But it's a notification saying that you can't do inside notifications. It only works inside Find My. So I will, in a future episode of the show, talk about that feature because it sounded very intriguing. I was like, oh, that sounds very neat, and I want to find out about it. But it's not a feature I've needed so far, and so, you know, it's kind of interesting how you'll have a phone for a while, and you'll slowly find out about new features about it that you never knew. One thing I have programmed is that you can do actions on your phone, and I had my phone program where I can double tap on the back and the flashlight comes on. Of course, I had to turn it off because I kept accidentally turning on my flashlight by just being in the same room with the phone, because it doesn't take very much to double tap the phone or to fake it out to think you've just double tapped the phone, where it'll turn your flashlight on. And that can be handy if you're like one-handed and you can't turn the screen around. I know there's a flashlight in the bottom left corner. If you press and hold it, it will turn on. But, you know, iPhone was new to me this year, and so I'm learning things about it that I didn't know. I knew about iPads, I knew about Macs, but I didn't know about iPhones. And, hey, that's life. So anyway. All right. So what else in tech news can we talk about? Of course, Google is getting ready to release the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro. Those things are coming out. It's been rumored for a while, but they're finally going to announce it, so it's coming out. Yeah, Big Red says, hey, I also think that being able to send a link to someone without an iPhone can enable them. Yep, the FaceTime feature where you can finally FaceTime with people who have Android phones or Windows devices, where they can do FaceTime on their computers using a link that you send them. They don't truly do FaceTime, but they're able to join a FaceTime. So Apple doesn't want to let the secret sauce out and create a FaceTime for Android. So, but I do like that, and it's kind of like Zoom. It's more like Google Meet, but it's cool. It's cool they finally did that. They know that that's a space that they need to work their way into, and so I'm glad that Apple finally did that. And they've done some cool enhancements with group chat. They've also the audio quality is better. You can also now blur your background. You may not have turned this feature on yet, but when you're doing FaceTime, you can now blur your background while you're on FaceTime. So it focuses on you and blurs your background. Kind of the effect I kind of get with the camera I have here, where my background's kind of blurred, but it's not. If I push the wall back, it'll blur. Yeah, I'm going to go see if I can push the wall. No, I don't think it'll work. It'll push into another room and people will get upset with me. But yeah, FaceTime, all the enhancements they did to FaceTime are really cool. And I like the share feature. So now I can now watch a show and have a watch party on FaceTime. And so, yeah, of course, the people I usually watch shows with are with me. And so it hasn't been an opportunity yet to do FaceTime and share like that. But that is also a really cool feature if you want to have a watch party. Have a watch party. You should. Go schedule one now. That's a very social thing to do. Go ping all your friends who don't live in the same town as you or the same house for sure, and say, hey, let's have a watch party and watch my current favorite show, which is Ted Lasso. Anyway, you don't have to watch that, but you can go watch other shows. Right now on Netflix, we're watching Longmire. Okay, not this very moment because I'm here and this is live as I'm doing it. But Longmire, I never watched it when it was on, was it A&E? I don't even remember what network it was, but whatever network it was, and now it's on Netflix, and well, it's a very fascinating show. Within the first 5 minutes, you find out who the dead body is, and then they spend the rest of the episode trying to figure out where does this dead body come from and who killed this person. So if you're into that kind of stuff. And the lead character, Walt Longmire, is kind of like a cowboy Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, he's like a cowboy Sherlock Holmes in that his deductive reasoning is very interesting. Now, there's been a few episodes where, okay, I missed a clue. How did you get to here? Because I'm literally like, he's sitting there and he's like, okay, let's go here. And he gets in the truck and he goes and says, I need to know where you were Wednesday night at 9:15 p.m. So-and-so told me you were here, but I think that's not true. And the point being, though, is that it seems like a leap in logic. I've had one of those nights where my mic is like catching me. So I'm wearing like this earpiece here to hide the fact that, some people, my wife, some people have commented that they didn't like my headphones, which I like my headphones because they make me feel like a radio DJ. But some people, I'm not naming names, my wife doesn't like those headphones, but I love them. They're big and bright. They're red. They're so pretty. They go over my ears. They're very comfortable. And when I bought them, the company asked me to review them. And then after I reviewed them, they sent me another set for free. You can't beat that. You really can't. And they're actually good headphones. So anyway, it reminds me. What did my daughter do with the pair I gave her? Anyway, so she's recently had some issues with headphones, and now she's resorting to using Bluetooth. Yes, I know. No confessions here. We're not going to confess crimes here. Anyway. So, what's a tech gadget that you and your significant other fight about? Is there a gadget that gets in the way that you think is cool and they obviously do not? It took me a while to get my wife Donna to get warmed up to Alexa. At first, okay, whatever, but I got the first smart light bulb, and I had Alexa already. And when I started doing smart devices, Alexa became cool. By the way, my current Alexa device is named Ziggy now. Hey, Ziggy.
I'll answer as quickly as I can. I'm always learning more.
She is, or he is always learning more. Let me ask you a question. Now, on many smart devices now, you can change the voices on your devices to either be male or female. And some in the industry are arguing that we should all set our devices to be male voices because people do not respect women enough. Does that go to the level of our tech devices? Unfortunately, there feels like there's truth to that I should change all the voices on all my devices to be male voices because of that. Because, we should treat everybody fairly, regardless of who they are. Which is absolutely true. We absolutely should treat everybody fairly. Does that go all the way to tech devices? I don't know. Sometimes I think it's okay to be mean to our devices, but we don't want to come at it from a strange heart. How many have ever seen the movie Her? Because in that movie, that person developed too strong a relationship with his devices. He fell in love with the smart assistant that was trapped in all his compute devices and all his smart assistants in his house. It's strange. Strange world, is it not? Yeah. All right. So anyway, but yeah, SharePlay is the feature where you can share within FaceTime. So, and for some phones that wasn't a new feature, but they've definitely added some enhancements to it. Sarah, small changes. Hey, Sarah here has a great channel where she tells you how to minimize your clutter, how to organize your life. Really cool stuff, and she talks about small changes, kind of baby steps. If you are disorganized like I am, you need to follow her channel because she's awesome. She will tell you how to organize stuff. And When I watch her videos, she makes me feel very guilty for the clutter that's on my desk right now, which I'm not going to reveal. It's just going to be our secret, and you're only going to see this background because my desk needs cleaning. And when I get my behind-the-scenes camera, I will clean my desk before I show it because I don't want to admit my clutter. But I'm also a digital hoarder, and this is a topic we've talked about. I like to save everything on all my cloud drives. And so I will not go and clean them up. But I am a digital hoarder. I will take everything that somebody gives me. No. That's right. We don't guilty clutter. I know. But the point being is that my desk is cluttered right now. And it's because I don't put any time into it to organize. I keep like things within arm's reach. And I will grab them as I need them. But I'm really guilty of digital hoarding. I save everything digital into my cloud drives, to my external hard drives, on my work computer, my personal computer. You got to think, where does it end? Where does it end to save so many things? And the problem is that some of my cloud drives do not organize very well. And so luckily on my Google Drive, it's very organized. I can search for things and find them. Because luckily it takes images and it will try to figure out text inside the images to make those easy to find. I love how Google Photos works. And, but when I think about it, our lives right now, when we're digital nomads, and this day's going to come where all those pictures we took, all those digital pictures we took that we didn't print. Oh, now true confessions come out. Sarah's husband is a digital hoarder. So, I've got a crazy idea. So here's what I'll do. This is how I'm going to organize. I'm going to take pictures of all my stuff, throw my stuff away, but take those digital pictures and store them on my cluttered cloud drive. And that way I can be a digital hoarder, but in my natural world, people don't find out that I'm hoarding. So I can hide my true self. Hey, Marcus. Marcus is shouting out to Sarah. Anyway, yeah. So, wow, I have no idea what time it is in Australia right now. Yeah, I do love Google Photos. I'm not sure. Well, this is a valid point. Sarah's concerned about privacy with Google Photos. And that is definitely something to be concerned about. They claim that they don't search through your photos, that they don't sell your information involved with your photos. They claim this. This is in their documentation they're writing. This doesn't mean that they'll change it because their motto originally was, do no evil. And over the years, I would say that they've done some evil. Oh, it's 10:43 a.m. on Monday in Australia. So, cool. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody stopping by. This is an experiment. It's called Sunday Tech Social, and my plan is 8 p.m. on Eastern time in the U.S. to go live for 1 hour and talk about nothing about tech, but about tech topics in the news. And if people bring tech problems that they're having, I'll try, as well as others hopefully who'll join, and we'll all try to solve those problems right here. We'll call it therapy for your digital things. Welcome to tech therapy. Yeah, I'm going to do tech therapy, and we'll talk through how to get through all your tech troubles. And, I know I'm a tech troublemaker, but I ultimately want to do good in the world. I want to be a servant and do well. And even though my wife says I'm a bad guy trying to be good, I really am trying. And so I want to help people with their tech problems, whatever they may be. And yeah, cool. And so we'll come here as a group, and we'll do some crowd thinking about it, and we'll try to solve problems. Yeah, tech on the couch. There you go. Tech. I'm going to take my iPhone. I will have a small miniature couch, and I will place my iPhone there, and you will have to do this at home with your device, whatever it may be. and place it gently on the couch, and we'll talk about how to fix it. We'll talk about why your phone may be sad. My phone is running slow. Why is it running so slow? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about how to make your phone faster. We'll talk about how to make your computer work better. We'll talk about how to get more life out of the computer that you have. You know, you may have a really old computer, but sometimes you can do little minor upgrades to your older computer and give it new life and get another year, maybe even 2 out of your computer. So those are the kind of things that we can talk about on this. And hey, it's social. Maybe we'll have cake and ice cream. You'll have to bring your own cake and your own ice cream. I will just provide pictures, digital pictures for my hoarding collection of cake and ice cream, because that's as close as I can get. Oh, Marcus is going to be replacing his phone soon. Oh, shh, we can't tell the phone. It's quiet. You know, it's like cars. I find if you talk about your car and say, well, I'm going to get rid of you soon, you will hurt your car's feelings. And things will happen. It will say, if this is how you feel, I don't want to be that way anymore. I'm just going to stop running for you. So I think phones can do the same. I really do. And so, yes. Anyway, yeah. Yes, we can talk to the old phone. I don't know, Marcus, if your phone, your provider lets you trade in the old phone to get a discount on a new phone. It's very crazy right now, but here in the States, mobile providers are doing lots of things to encourage people to trade their phones in, and then they're taking those phones and selling them on the resale market. And why are they doing this, you may ask? And they're giving you really good deals. Why are they doing this? Because we're suffering from worldwide chip shortages. And so it's been a challenge for them to make iPhones and Android phones in bulk, in huge quantities, because the chip market is squeezed. And so cell phone providers have figured out, well, we can refurb phones and make a pretty penny. People are willing to pay good money to get almost new phones and pay almost as much as they would for a brand new phone. Is that crazy or what? That's a great upgrade. The iPhone 13 is a great phone. I don't know if you have an option. I don't know if you take a lot of pictures, but the camera on the iPhone 13 Pro is amazing. It really is. The iPhone 13 camera is good too. It's definitely better than, you will not go wrong. You buy an iPhone 13, it's going to be better than the iPhone X as far as photos go. And it's a really fast phone. They've got a brand new chip in it. And so it's really, really amazing. So the iPhone 13 rocks. I would love to be in a situation where I could get one right now, but I'm not. Now, iPhone, if you want to send me one to review, I will give it a thorough and honest review and gladly accept it. But you have to be aware I will give it a thoroughly honest review. So you're going to get the good, you're going to get the bad. That's the facts of life. The facts of life. The facts of life. Anyway. Wow. So this is going way better than I thought it was going to. But hey, this is the first episode. This is episode 1 of Sunday Tech Social. And I'm planning, like I said, do this every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And so if you want to come by and visit, I am going to have some guests on future episodes. I didn't have time to spring that option on anybody. So I just, hey, me and Marcus are going to talk about his phone. Maybe Marcus wants to come. Marcus, you want to come on the show? And we give last rites to your iPhone X when you get the iPhone 13? We could do that. We could have a short memorial service and wish it best of luck in the digital afterlife, wherever that may be. Okay. All right. Next up on Tech News. Mark says sure. We'll see if he still feels that way when episode 2 comes out. All right. Next up, of course, the iPhone 7 is out. It's just a minor upgrade. It's essentially the Apple Watch 7 is out. It's essentially just a small upgrade from the Apple Watch 6. It's literally got the same processor. It's just a little bit bigger, and they've done some tweaks. But it's, if you don't have an Apple Watch 6 and you are an Apple Watch fan, the Apple Watch 7 is a good phone, a good watch. I keep wanting to say phone. I don't know why. Anyway. Diablo 2 Resurrected. So my kids and I used to play Diablo 2. It may not be as family friendly as it should be because it's a little gory, but it doesn't have any language or anything. But my kids and I would play local on our network here in the house, and that was a lot of fun, and we enjoyed that, playing that game. And so basically, they come out with a new version of it. They revamped it, kind of did some fancy up the graphics and that type of thing. And so that came out this week. I actually heard of people taking the day off Monday to play the game. So, but they've taken away the local play option. So now you have to be connected to the internet if you want to play against somebody else, even in your own house. Of course, you each have to buy your own copy as well. That was the other thing you could kind of get around when you had the local play option. You could take the same copy, install it in two places, and get away with playing against you. Then they came up with an update to fix that, but if you didn't do the update, you could keep on playing. Sad times. Anyway, there is a brand new update for Chrome OS. If you haven't updated Chrome yet, you should go and update Chrome to the latest version. You would find hackers right now are doing some very interesting things and are very much attacking our web browsers. And so Edge and Chrome both, they run on the same engine now, are both pushing out updates. And so be sure you update to the latest version of Chrome if you're a big fan of Chrome as I am. If you're a Mac user or an iPhone user, Safari, boy, the upgrades on Safari. Of course, I don't know if I like the address bar at the bottom of the browser. It's taking me a little getting used to that. There is a way to turn that off, but sometimes I'm like, it's kind of like when I go to a restaurant and order food and they ask me, well, how do you want it cooked? I'm like, I would like it cooked the way the chef intends for me to eat it. So I don't want to change the chef's vision at all. I'm kind of like that sometimes with programs. When a company comes out with a new app and they made a big change to the way it used to work, I like to give it a chance for a bit because they had some idea. Some person has been thinking about, how do I design this? What do I do to make this better? And so, I don't want to take away their vision. I want to kind of go with what they're doing. And so I'm going to try it with the web addresses at the bottom for a little bit and see. On the Mac, they didn't do that, but Private Relay is about to become a feature that you can use on your Mac with Safari. So Private Relay is kind of like a VPN. So if you're familiar with VPN, and I talked about this on Tuesday's episode I did, we just mentioned it, didn't go into great detail. VPN is a virtual private network. So basically you are connecting to a server, and over that VPN you're ensuring that all your traffic is encrypted. So that means theoretically hackers can't get into it. So like for example, if you go to Starbucks, the network is wide open. You're connected up. Hackers could hack into the Starbucks network and see all the network traffic going through their router. But if you do a virtual private network, yes, they can hack to Starbucks' network, but in theory, everything you're doing is hidden in that virtual private network because all that traffic is encrypted. Well, with Private Relay, while Apple doesn't say it's of the same level as virtual private network, they are saying that if you use Safari browser and you turn on the Private Relay feature, that all your traffic is indeed encrypted and you're going through Apple servers. And so basically you connect directly from there to the Apple server, and then the Apple server securely goes to the website that you intend. So what happens is they're encrypting the traffic between you and the Apple servers, and then Apple is then sending you to the website, and then that website returns back to the Apple, and then over that Private Relay it goes to your browser. And so if you trust Apple, which strangely I do part of the way, I admit Apple has a little more concern for my privacy than the others, though at the end of the day they are the wealthiest company in the world. You can't have 200 plus billion and not be, well, it's more than that. I think it's like 400 something billion. They are like, their profit is bigger than the GDP for most countries. Is that insane or what? And they make 30% off of every app you buy in the App Store. So even when you pay 99 cents for it, they're getting roughly 30 cents of every dollar you spend in the App Store. So yeah, they're making money hand over fist. And they make most of their money from the App Store. So, can you trust them? Who knows? That's the funny thing about it, isn't it? But anyway, go update Chrome if you're running Chrome. And let's see what else we want to talk about. Google is getting sued in a lawsuit because incognito mode isn't as private as people thought it was. If you use incognito mode, the best that incognito mode kind of promises is that when you go to websites and they do tracking cookies, when you close out the browser, all the tracking cookies go away. So at least from that standpoint, it does prevent people from tracking you long term if you're using incognito mode. But on the flip side, it turns out Google could still track you even when you're in incognito mode. And so hence the lawsuit against Google. So yeah, makes you sad, don't it? Anyway, so I hope that the lawsuit causes them to truly make incognito mode as private as it claims to be. Because it's not that private. It should be, but it's not. Hey John, it's Coffee Talking Tech. John, you gotta go see John's channel. I really love his, him and Jeff, their chats are really awesome. Of course, John, I don't know how you do a live stream for 3+ hours. I don't know how you do that. But John's getting real close to having enough followers and such and watch time to monetize his channel. So that's pretty exciting. That's really exciting. So, hey. Anyway, this is Sunday Tech Social. Again, we talk about tech topics and news. We talk about your tech problems that you may have, and we'll talk about them here. If we can solve them here, we will. As I jokingly said, this is tech therapy for your digital devices and your digital life. We will talk about whatever's going on in your tech world. Bring your problems here and let's talk them through. Whether you are a YouTube channel just getting started like a lot of us are, we'll share what we've learned along the way and what we've broken, what worked, what didn't work. If you want to talk about why your Mac is doing something silly, if you want to talk about why your PC is doing something silly, you want to talk about how to be more secure in your computers, or the latest gadgets, Apple Watches, or, you know, Samsung's latest watches are coming out, which this is a weird, I'm waiting to see how this partnership is going to work out, because you may know, or you may not, Samsung came out with their own their own OS for their watches, and then Google has their watch OS that they came out with, and then Google bought Fitbit, and then right before they revamped Fitbit, Google and Samsung went into a partnership and said, we're going to take our software OSs for watches and merge them together, and then Fitbit's going to run that, and then Samsung's going to release their own watches using that same operating system. And so it's kind of like, huh? Which one do I use? So I'm a huge fan of Fitbit. Used Fitbit devices for a long time before I finally got more serious about my workout journey, my fitness journey, and I got fed up with the fact that at that period of time, most Fitbit watches didn't have GPS built in. And so when you run a 5K and it says you still have a mile left to go, your feelings get hurt by your Fitbit. That is a problem that appears to have gone away. I have a Garmin watch, a Forerunner, it's the 240 or 260. Anyway, it's a great watch. It does an awesome job with GPS. I love going home and then I see where I went. And so, anyway, great stuff. All right, that's it. Just going to try to keep our episode to an hour. We're at 9 o'clock. I want to thank everybody that came by. John, you were late. You'll have to come in earlier next week. This is going to be an every Sunday night thing from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. It is going to be the Sunday Tech Social. And like I said, bring your tech problems here. Hopefully, as over time goes on, we'll get a group big enough and we'll all just dump in together and say, what could it be that's causing this problem? Like I said, this is going to be your digital therapy, your digital and tech therapy. Bring your problems here. Let's work on them. Thanks so much for coming by. I'll have cool graphics to go with this later. This was, like I said, an experiment, which I hope to keep going. Thank you so much for coming by. I hope everybody had a great Sunday. And wow, if you guys that are on Monday already, I hope you're having a great Monday. Everybody have a fantastic week. We'll do it again next week. Hey, check out the One Off Tech podcast Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. This week's topics are privacy and how to turn on features on Google and on Facebook and other social platforms to ensure even more privacy on your devices. So be sure to tune in 9 p.m. Tuesday night Eastern Time. Thanks everybody came by. Bye everybody. See you later.